When you get deployed, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in the Middle East or Iraq.
If I was to get mobilized, it really wouldn't be a whole big ordeal because my school and people I work with.
The minute I got to the top of the bridge, they had set off an IED and it hit the truck. And one friend of mine was killed, and I was hurt real bad.
Severed artery in his leg. He'd lost the hearing in his left ear. He had a concussion, horrendous shrapnel injuries down his entire left side.
That invincibility, that buying into Marine stuff, it ends that first day. And certainly each firefight after that. I mean, you quickly learn that at any second you can be dead. But for real dead, not movie dead. All the myths, all the lies are exposed, they're over. Same goes for all these kids.
My stepson, David Michael Branning, was killed in Fallujah on November 12, 2004. He was only 19 when he enlisted. He couldn't know what he was getting into. Lance Corporal Chad B. Maynard, age 19.
The recruiters told me about the college fund that I would be getting. Really, that was the kicker for me.
They promised money for school and they promised you could travel the world, but it wasn't as concrete as the recruiters made it out to be.
The college money really isn't worth it because if you really look at it, the Montgomery GI Bill only does so much. And if you want to go to a really good school, it doesn't even hit the iceberg.
You know, I joined the National Guard to get money for school, to be able to afford college. And part of what they don't tell you until after you're in is that the money they promise you, you can only get while you're in the National Guard. The day you get out, you're not entitled to a penny. And what's happening now is that National Guardsmen are getting deployed 2 and 3 times in one enlistment. So basically, you're just out of that time. You know, you can't use that time to go to school.
They're not telling the kids that, yeah, by the time you go through 2 or 3 tours in Iraq, you're not going to be in any shape to go to school.
It's kind of insulting to me that I gave up 2 years of my life, one of them to go fight in this war, and the government isn't even keeping their end of the bargain.
My job in the Army Reserve is going to help out in my civilian life because I'd like to be a lawyer, I'd like to go to law school.
Well, I'm a great killer. I know how to blow up bridges, buildings, and people. I know how to dismantle mines.
I was lost when I got out. I had to start from the bottom. I was a security guard. I've been a housekeeper. I've been a receptionist.
Hitchhiking, never having a place to stay, bumming money. Yeah, I was panhandling on the streets, and it took me about 3 years to get that, to work some of that out of my system anyway.
You know, I know how to clean weapons, to inspection and polish boots and mop floors. But do I have anything that I can really take away from there and apply to any kind of job I've got now? Maybe as a custodian.
Here are some questions you may want to ask your recruiter. Should I choose active, reserve, or ROTC?
You have to be very meticulous in your method of question asking when you talk to a recruiter. It's like talking to the devil. Because the devil will tell you the truth, but only the piece of the truth he wants you to hear.
I had a recruiter that took me in underneath his wing and taught me the right way, you know, on how to recruit and forget about what they taught you in recruiter school. When you get out onto the streets of America, things are different. You suddenly find yourself in a situation to where if you cover up this one drug involvement that your applicant can process through and you can get a contract because you still need 2 more, and it's the 17th of the month. When I was now being asked to lie or fraud, you know, I started to wonder to myself, you know, what else did they lie to me about?
I don't care about those other promises that the recruiter broke, but the one promise that wasn't in writing that recruiter told Casey was that even if there was a war, Casey wouldn't see combat. He was in Iraq for 5 days before he was killed. They tell him anything to get them to sign the contract. And what the kids don't know is that contract is unilateral. It only binds them and it doesn't bind the government.
You have to live up to all these standards and commitments, but the Army doesn't have to do anything. They can change anything they want about your contract pretty much at any time. And one of the big things that's happening now is the stop loss. So say it's an all-volunteer Army. I volunteer for 4 years. Well, the Army decides they want to keep you for 6 years or 8 years, and they can do that.
My enlistment during my time in Iraq, my contract was actually ready to expire. I was supposed to leave there, go back to Europe, out process, and be home, in like April of '04. I'm supposed to be home. Never happened.
Three to 4 months before the end of my 8-year contract, I got stop loss, and I got put on orders to get sent to Iraq, and I was sent to the Middle East and then to Iraq. And that's how I ended up going.
I used to recruit in this school. This school is predominantly working class. You see the refinery in the background as we were coming in. That's pretty much the mainstay source of income and revenue other than retail shops. I could pull at least 2 bodies a month out of this school.
I had come here from Costa Rica, was a recent immigrant, and I was basically just making minimum wage without the possibility to go to school. I had no friends, I had no sense of purpose, really. I just happened to be home when the Army guy called, and he was an infantryman. He talked to me about being an infantryman, so I signed up for infantry.
We have a class system in America, and the poor really do fight the wars.
There's nothing around here but crack fiends and broken dreams. You try to, make it through, like your plans, like your goals in life. You either sell drugs or be locked up or dead. Those are your choices. Recruiters, they aim at people, young black, young Hispanic, Caucasian, anybody. Like who they think, well, he's not gonna make it in life. You don't have a plan in life. The recruiter comes down and tries to save the day. He's Superman. Shells, cases, body bags around here. Well, I got a 5-year plan actually. Like if I don't make it in the music thing, I'm dropping it. Like I still got, college right there, and I know that's gonna work. But if I don't make it in that, I'm just gonna work. I'm glad that I didn't swear in. Because, like I won't be here talking to you. I would be in boot camp, like on my way to Iraq.
People feel that the military is an escape. The military will not do that for you. They will make you dependent on a system that doesn't care about you in the first place when you grew up in the hood.
An Army post is nothing like you would see in the movies. It's just like a regular community. Living on post is very nice. All the amenities of a regular community. Grocery store.
My first duty station to report to was Fort Hood, Texas. There were stabbings, there were rapes, and drug deals in my barracks.
Some common misconceptions in the Army is that you're not allowed to have a personal life.
Being a single soldier in the Army is actually quite fun. They have put a lot of events on post for people to get to know people.
When you're a woman in the military, you're either a bitch, a slut, or a lesbian, and that's how you're going to be treated. It seems like when you're a woman, specifically in a combat zone, not only do you have to be afraid of the supposed insurgents and the enemies and the Iraqis, but then you also come back to the base, and then there you have to be fearful of your fellow soldiers.
To fight discrimination is harder in the military than it is on the outside.
I've had several friends in the military who've been raped, and one of them went public and succeeded in getting a court-martial of the man, but it was horrible for her because first she had to go through a preliminary trial basically trying to discredit her, and when you're in the military, your records aren't kept secret, even if they're counseling records, so all of that can be brought out and thrown in your face to discredit you. Another girl that I know went to her chain of command and was told, well, it'll be too hard to prove, so you should just drop it.
It's a Stryker infantry carrier vehicle designed to carry 9 combat troops with all the gear.
When my unit got to Kuwait and they bring out our vehicles and they're nailing half-inch sheets of plywood to canvas doors, and that was kind of our hope for survival.
He didn't have the proper body armor. He had a Vietnam-era flak jacket. He was going into the middle of a battle on the back of a trailer.
When you think about war, it's like a video game, and that's how the recruiters portray it too. That's why they have video games for recruitment. Missing from recruiters' talk, missing from the discussion in our society are thousands of soldiers burned, blinded, amputated limbs, suffering from very strong emotional trauma.
Mi sugerencia no es decirle a los jóvenes que no se metan al ejército, sino que hablen con otras personas porque los reclutadores no les van a contar la historia entera. Que vayan a los hospitales a ver a los veteranos que no tienen piernas, que vayan a los hospitales a ver a las personas que están sufriendo de trastorno psicológico antes de tomar esa decisión tan importante en su vida que es meterse al ejército.
I'm in field artillery. I get to go out and blow things up.
It's a lot of fun. Heck, what other job can you fire weapons in? I mean...
War is not a game. There is no resetting the button. Once you kill, that's it. And the horrors of killing stay with you forever.
Weapons they're not prejudiced. They don't see good or bad, white or black or whatever. When they go off, they go everywhere.
I had counted about 33 people that my unit alone killed. And of those 33 people, maybe 3 or 4 were armed. So the vast majority of them just happened to be there, when there was a firefight.
Jesus called me 3 days late. Jesus cried and told me, Father, I not joined to the Marines for kill the children, and I killed the children.
If you do make it through and you come home, it's something that you're gonna have to live with the rest of your day, and you're gonna have to learn to deal with it.
My dad had to tell me a couple times, he had to grab hold of me and shake me in the middle of the night because I'd be rummaging the house, looking for my machine gun and my helmet and my armor and my boots, And he'd tell me, man, that stuff's not here and you don't have anywhere to go. You're home, you're safe, you need to go to sleep.
What you bring back from war is, and I mean this in a literal sense, in your bones, in your blood, in your skin, in your tissues, in your mind, forever.
It's your life. It's not my life. Whatever I say, my son is never back. Whatever I say, my grandson never have the father with him. Whatever I say, my wife and me cry every single day for my son. It's your life. You have a choice.
Private Justin R. Yeomans at the age of 20.
Staff Sergeant Justin L. Vasquez, age 26. Private First Class Jeffrey F. Braun, age 19. Corporal Kima Fum An Shanawansky, age 22. Private First Class Anthony D. D'Agostino, age 20.